the social emotional. And I know with many children with the autism spectrum or other health impairments, or that the social emotional between are the deficits where they struggle the most. And I don't know, in my experience talking with other parents and stuff, that seems to be where the teachers struggle the most. And so looking at how to help improve professional development goals, getting it into the IEP, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for that. And it's something that actually tomorrow night at MCCPTA meeting, we're talking about social emotional learning. So come back, same room, same time. Actually, it's a little earlier. We're talking about that. Let me just tell you briefly about the approach we're going to take to social emotional learning. Some of our folks sitting right over there have already been doing work with our school psychologists on this and introducing it. I want to be clear. Social emotional competency development for us, social emotional learning, is not an initiative, right? It's not a binder or a curriculum that teachers are going to get and say, do this now, right? You have to really understand it and believe in it in order to apply it. We have to do training and provide resources, absolutely, we do. We also have to convince people that the state test score is not the end-all, be-all goal of what we want for our kids. They are important indicators, but they're not the goal. And then some kids might need a little more help with social emotional development than others. So we are increasing our sort of collective awareness about it. We'll be providing resources to schools. Schools will be, we're going to start building in our plan ways for schools to be supported and accountable for their strategy for social emotional development. Because again, you can choose different paths. Not everybody has to do it the same way. It's got to be a way that works for your school community. So everyone, it's not going to look the same for everyone, but it's also has to be embedded into everybody's day-to-day work in their school. It's not something that just school psychologists do, or PPWs, social workers, do, or that is done by the counselor. It's something that everybody in the school has to embrace. Raising that level of awareness and teaching them about it is going to be the harder part, but don't expect that we're going to be adopting a social emotional program off the shelf for everybody, because if you do that, it doesn't get deeply embedded into everybody. And so we're well aware of that. And I would also suggest that two things. One, there are some amazing examples of some incredibly resilient kids, right? From many of your children, I imagine, are some of the best examples of that. We have amazing examples, and some of the people some of the kids who are assumed to be to need it the least may need it the most in some ways. So there's a lot of collective learning around it.
I'm going to put this in.